Somewhere online right now, someone is reading a message that says a bank has secretly revealed a new exchange rate for the Iraqi Dinar or the Vietnamese Dong. The message sounds urgent. It sounds exclusive. It sounds like something you're not supposed to know yet. And that's exactly the point. For over a decade, versions of this same story have circulated, different dates, different insiders, different banks, but always the same promise: that a currency most people have never used is about to become worth dramatically more, seemingly overnight. So in this video, we're going to slow down and ask the only question that actually matters. Is there any real evidence behind this claim? Or is this a pattern we've seen before, dressed up in new headline? Stick with us. By the end, you'll understand exactly how these claims spread, who benefits from them, and what actually happens to the people who believe them. To understand this claim, we need a little history, not speculation, just facts. The Iraqi dinar, IQD, lost significant value after the Gulf War and the years of sanctions that followed. Iraq introduced a new dinar in 2003 after the fall of Saddam Hussein's government, replacing the old currency. Since then, the exchange rate has been set through Iraq's central banking system, based on standard monetary policy, not secret announcements. The Vietnamese Dong VND has a different story. Vietnam's currency has historically had a low nominal value compared to currencies like the US dollar, partly because of how Vietnam has managed its monetary policy over decades of economic development. A low numerical exchange rate does not, by itself, mean a currency is undervalued or due for a dramatic jump. Despite this, online communities dedicated to dinar and dong investing have existed since at least the mid-2000s. These communities often share the same core belief, that a revaluation, sometimes called an RV, is imminent, and that early buyers will become wealthy almost overnight. This belief has persisted for years, across many predicted dates that came and went without the event happening. One of the clearest documented examples is Sterling Currency Group, an Atlanta-based dinar dealer that operated from 2004 to 2015. According to the U.S. Department of Justice, Sterling grossed more than $600 million selling Iraqi dinar and other currencies to retail buyers, while court records show its owners repeatedly promoted the idea that a revaluation was imminent year after year without it happening. The U.S. bank secretly reveals new rate framing is simply the newest packaging for this older idea. The claim isn't new, only the headline is. So how does this claim actually work, and why does it keep coming back? Sources for this chapter: U.S. Department of Justice, Northern District of Georgia. Owners of currency exchange business that made $600 million convicted of fraud. Justice.gvusoenga. U.S. Court of Appeals, 11th Circuit, United States versus Bell 2024. Case background on Sterling Currency Group's history and operations. Media.ca11.uscourts.gov. Here's how currency exchange rates actually function. In simple terms, exchange rates are determined by a mix of factors: a country's central bank policy, inflation, trade balances, foreign currency reserves, and market supply and demand. These are tracked continuously by financial institutions and are publicly visible, not secret. There is no mechanism by which a single U.S. bank can unilaterally reveal a new exchange rate for a foreign currency. Exchange rates for currencies like the IQD and VND are set through Iraq's and Vietnam's own central banking systems in the open market and are reported by financial data providers in real time. If a currency's value changed significantly, it would show up instantly on public financial markets, not first in a private message, a YouTube comment, or a paid newsletter. So how do leak claims spread despite this? The pattern usually looks like this. A claim appears on a forum, social media post, or video, citing an anonymous insider or unnamed bank contact. The claim can't be verified through any official channel. It spreads because it's exciting, hopeful, and easy to share. When a predicted event doesn't happen, the explanation shifts, the date gets pushed back, or a new leak replaces the old one. This is a recognizable pattern the U.S. Commodity Futures Trading Commission (CFTC) and the North American Securities Administrators Association (NASAA) have described together in a joint investor alert on foreign exchange fraud, advertisements promising high returns with low risk from foreign currency. The agencies note are the same old trap, financial fraud in fancy garb. Whatever the currency involved, the same basic step applies. Check the claim against a real, publicly listed exchange rate before believing it. Now let's look at why the evidence doesn't support the claim itself. Sources for this chapter: CFTC and ASAA, Foreign Exchange Currency Fraud, Joint Investor Alerts CFTC.gov. Let's be direct about what's missing from these claims. No named source, legitimate financial news, a rate change, a policy shift, a central bank decision. Comes with a name, an institution, and a public record. Claims about secret revaluations typically cite no verifiable individual, no bank name that can be confirmed, and no public statement. No public financial data support. Currency exchange rates are tracked in real time by numerous independent financial data providers. If the IQD or VND had jumped dramatically in value, it would appear across all of them simultaneously, not exclusively in one video or post. No consistent track record. Predictions of an imminent revaluation have been made repeatedly over many years. When a predicted date passes without the event occurring, the claim is typically not withdrawn. It's simply updated with a new date or a new reason for delay. No official channel. Central banks, including Iraq's and Vietnam's, announce monetary policy through public statements, not through anonymous tips shared in comment sections. This doesn't mean every person sharing this claim is acting in bad faith. Many are simply repeating something they read elsewhere, genuinely hoping it's true. But hope isn't evidence, and a claim without a verifiable source should be treated with caution, regardless of how confidently it's stated. So if the evidence isn't there, why does this claim keep resurfacing online? That's where things get more revealing. Claims like this don't spread by accident. They spread because they're profitable for certain people to share, even if the claim itself never comes true. Here's the general pattern seen across many speculative investment communities online, not limited to any one topic. Attention and ad revenue. Dramatic headlines like leaked or secretly revealed generate high click-through rates. More clicks can mean more advertising revenue for whoever is publishing the content. Currency exchange businesses. Some sellers profit directly from currency exchange transactions and transaction fees, regardless of whether the currency's value ever changes. Paid communities and subscriptions. Some online groups charge membership fees for insider updates, continuing to collect payment even as predicted dates repeatedly pass without the described event happening. Affiliate and referral incentives. In some online ecosystems, promoting a claim can generate referral traffic or affiliate income for the person sharing it. This is a normal pattern in online media economics. Dramatic, hopeful claims attract more attention than measured, factual ones. That doesn't automatically mean every individual sharing this information has bad intentions. Some are simply passing along something they believe. But it does mean that attention and profit incentives exist independent of whether the underlying claim is true. This is a pattern to understand, not an accusation against any individual or channel. Understanding why a claim spreads is different from understanding whether it's true. And that distinction matters, especially once real regulators start weighing in. Financial regulators and law enforcement agencies in the United States have, over the years, taken direct action on speculative currency schemes tied to the Iraqi Dinar and other currencies. The clearest case is Sterling Currency Group. Following a 5-week federal trial, a jury convicted the company's co-owners, Tyson Rame and James Shaw, and its chief operating officer Frank Bell, of conspiracy to commit mail and wire fraud, along with related fraud counts. According to the U.S. Attorney's Office for the Northern District of Georgia, the evidence at trial showed the defendants took steps to convince investors they would grow rich from the Iraqi dinar, including posting information suggesting a revaluation was imminent. In December 2021, the court sentenced Rahim to 15 years in prison, Shaw to just under 8 years, and Bell to 7 years. In 2022, the court ordered the three men to pay $1,682,319 in restitution to identified victims. The FBI separately opened a victim information process for people who purchased Iraqi dinar through Sterling Currency Group and its related brands, Dinar Banker, GD Associates. The SEC has pursued this exact pattern more than once. In 2016, the agency filed a civil complaint against Joshua J. Hansen of Utah, alleging he told investors he held special security clearances allowing him to trade Iraqi dinar and oil contracts, and promised returns of up to 15,000% within 90 days. Court records show Hansen consented to a final judgment permanently barring him from further securities fraud violations. In a separate, similar case, the SEC's litigation release for John Scott Clark, another individual who claimed access to a top-secret dinar and oil program, states that Clark and a partner solicited at least $1.7 million from investors over roughly 7 years, at times promising a $20,000 investment would return $3 million within 90 days. State securities regulators have also issued public investor alerts on this exact pattern, including the Alabama Securities Commission, the Texas State Securities Board, and Washington State's Department of Financial Institutions, each warning that the Iraqi dinar investment opportunity has been promoted as a can't-miss trade for well over a decade, without a revaluation ever materializing in the way promoters described. The pattern isn't limited to the dinar. In September 2025, the Bay County Sheriff's Office in Florida issued a public scam alert after a local rise in Vietnamese Dong currency requests, noting that the same revaluation story has, in the past, been used to promote the Iraqi dinar and the Egyptian pound as well. Around the same time, financial commentary reported by RNZ Radio New Zealand in August 2025 cautioned currency speculators that a dramatic Dong revaluation is not a sure bet, and that any real strengthening of the currency has tracked Vietnam's gradual, ordinary economic growth, not a sudden secret announcement. The general warning signs these regulators and agencies consistently highlight include promises of guaranteed, dramatic returns on a foreign currency, pressure to buy before a specific, secret date, lack of verifiable, named sources for the claim, requests to pay fees to unlock or authorize a future payout. If you're ever considering a financial decision based on a currency revaluation claim, the most reliable step is to check the currency's real-time exchange rate through an established, independent financial data source, not through a single video, post, or private message. We're not naming or attacking any specific channel, seller, or individual here beyond what has already been established in public court records and government press releases. The goal isn't to single anyone out. It's to describe the pattern clearly enough that you can recognize it wherever you encounter it. So what does this pattern actually cost the people who believe it? U.S. Department of Justice, Northern District of Georgia, owners of currency exchange business that made $600 million convicted of fraud, and the Sterling Currency Action Case Summary page, including sentencing and restitution details, justice.gov. Federal Bureau of Investigation, seeking victim information in Sterling Currency Group Iraqi Dinar Investment Investigation, FBI.gov. U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission, Final Judgment, SEC Joshua J. Hansen, Case Number 1:16, Civ 00059, BSJ, U.S. District Court, District of Utah Section Gov Files. U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission, Litigation Release LR 23509, John Scott Clark Section Gov Enforcement Litigation. Alabama Securities Commission, Investor Alert referencing Bitcoin and Iraqi Dinar schemes asc.alabama.gov. Texas State Securities Board. Guess who's coming to Dinar? Investor Alert SSB Texas Gov. Washington State Department of Financial Institutions, DFI Alert. Iraqi Dinar scams DFI.wa.gov. Bay County Sheriff's Office, Florida, Public Scam Alert on Vietnamese Dong currency requests. September 2025 reported by WMBB, mypanhandle.com. RNZ Radio New Zealand. Investing in Vietnamese currency. Dong. No sure bet. Expert says, August 2025 are nz.co.nz. Behind claims like this, there are real people, often ordinary savers, retirees, or people hoping for a better financial future. Currency speculation schemes built on unverified revaluation claims have, in documented cases, led buyers to spend meaningful portions of their savings on foreign currency in the hope of a dramatic payout. In the Sterling Currency Group case alone, a federal court found enough identifiable financial harm to order $1,682,319 in restitution to victims, and the FBI's ongoing victim questionnaire process for that case suggests the number of people affected is larger than that figure alone reflects. We don't have a verified, itemized breakdown of individual personal stories tied to that restitution figure, so we won't invent one. But the court-ordered number itself is real, and it represents real households. What we can say, based on how these patterns generally work, is this: the emotional appeal isn't really about the currency itself. It's about hope. Hope for financial security, hope for a way out of debt, hope for a better future for one's family. That hope is real, and it deserves respect. It's also exactly what makes these claims so effective and so important to examine carefully before acting on them. The disappointment that follows a missed revaluation date isn't just financial. It could be exhausting, discouraging, and isolating for the people who believed it, especially when the same story simply resurfaces again under a new name a few months later. Understanding this human cost is part of why evidence-based thinking matters here. Not to shame anyone who's believed a claim like this, but to help protect the next person from spending money based on hope alone. So what should you actually do if you're interested in currencies, savings, or international finance? Let's talk about real alternatives. U.S. Department of Justice, Northern District of Georgia, Sterling Currency Action, Restitution Order Details, Justice.gov. Federal Bureau of Investigation, seeking victim information in Sterling Currency Group Iraqi Dinar Investment Investigation, FBI.gov. If you're genuinely interested in currencies, exchange rates, or international finance, here are approaches grounded in verifiable information. Check real-time exchange rates directly. Establish financial data platforms. Publish live, publicly verifiable currency rates. These are freely available and don't require paying anyone for access. Understand how currencies actually move. Exchange rates change gradually based on measurable economic factors. Inflation, interest rates, trade balances, not sudden secret announcements. Be skeptical of urgency. Legitimate financial information is rarely time-pressured with phrases like "before it's too late" or "buy before the secret rate goes public." Talk to a licensed, independent financial professional before making any investment decision, someone with no financial incentive tied to the specific product or currency being discussed. Diversify your understanding, not just your money. Learning the basics of how currency markets work is more valuable long-term than chasing any single prediction. None of this is exciting in the way a leaked secret is exciting. But it's real, it's verifiable, and it won't leave you waiting on a date that keeps getting pushed back. So let's go back to where we started. Is there a secretly revealed new exchange rate for the Iraqi Dinar or Vietnamese Dong. Based on everything we've walked through, how currencies are actually set, the lack of any verifiable source, and the long history of similar claims resurfacing under new headlines, the evidence simply isn't there to support it. That doesn't mean every person sharing this story means harm. Many are hopeful, not deceptive. But hope isn't the same as evidence. And the difference between the two can matter a great deal when real money and real savings are involved. If this video helped you think more clearly about a claim like this, consider sharing it with someone who might be looking into it. It could save them time, stress, or money. And before believing the next leaked financial claim you see, ask one simple question. Can this be verified anywhere else? If the answer is no, that silence is the answer. Disclaimer: this content is for educational purposes only and is not financial advice.